Weird. I've never met anyone who changed pickups and said the old ones were better. Seems odd. Almost like they just wanted something new and not something that sounds better.
Can't imagine why. All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Friday. It's time for SMG Viewers Counts. Kind of batching a couple of these ahead because I've got lots on the go this spring, and I want to make sure you guys are taken care of first. You're my number one priority here. I want to thank Eddie Weinbauer for writing in there. Now, if you know your metal history, you know that name. It was the name of a main character in a, 1986, 87 heavy metal movie. Can anybody name that film? I know I can, that's for sure. Pretty cool flick, that's for sure. Let's just say Skippy impressed all of us, that's for sure. Anyway, any pop culture recommendations this week? I don't know. I'm about ready to start watching Foundation with the wife after I finish this, so hopefully it's going to be good. I don't know, fingers crossed. Current reading recommendation would be Nikki Sixx's The Heroin Diaries. What a fantastic book. I'll say this. After I read the dirt about Motley Crue, I was not impressed with the so-called moral character of a lot of the guys in Motley Crue, with the exception of Mick Mars, who seemed like a genuinely decent dude. The Heroin Diaries strikes me as somewhat as Nikki Sixx's redemption. It's a really cool book, and it's a great story, and apparently he's helped a lot of people who are going through addiction. So hats off to Nikki Sixx for, trying to do some good with his celebrity. I mean, if you save a life for here or there, you know what? Fantastic, man. More power to you, that's for sure. Also, turns out the guy's really into photography. He's a big Leica shooter. I've checked out a bit of his work in his Instagram. Pretty impressive stuff, dude. Very, very impressive indeed. Anyway, all right, let's get to your comments and questions right now. Let's see what's going on with you guys this week.
Hey Glenn, I remember you switching pickups on your green Harley-Benton Amarok to Fishman Fluence as Fluff suggested, and I presume you were quite happy about it. And that was before you started the whole Pickups Matters Little thing. I'm curious to know if you think the upgrade was worth it and done at the correct priority.
Actually, it wasn't a Harley-Benton Amarok. Those shipped with EMGs, and those were absolutely fine. It was a green Legator 7-string, which was a really cool guitar. And in retrospect, yeah, I'm kind of wondering, I'm thinking maybe I should have done some A/B recordings to actually hear what the hell was going on, instead of like, oh, it sounds so much better, because I was under the influence that, hey, pickups make a gigantic difference, which they really fucking don't, especially if you're talking humbucker to humbucker. You know what? In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have spent all that time and money changing the pickups out, but it looked cool. I guess there's that. Definitely money well spent, that's for sure. We learn as we go along, and as I get more and more and more deeper into this whole thing, and you can do it full time, the more I'm learning what's actually making the really big differences.
Do they make guitars with talent wood?
Yes, and the more money you spend, the better you will sound.
People still tend to go a little nuts when I even suggest changing speakers would make a bigger difference than changing their tubes. I once got a lecture on filament material, glass thickness, etc. The glass thickness thing really cracked me up.
Yeah, you know what really pisses off those tube nuts is when you start asking them to provide A/B tests. And, filament length. Okay, well, you can describe what it does, but can you give us some sound examples before and after? You did make recordings before you changed the tubes out, right? Right? That's something tube snobs are really well known for doing.
Why do people take science so personally?
Because science debunks people's belief. And people are proud of what they bought and what they believe made an improvement. And when you disprove that, that really messes with people's pride. And pride will fuck you up really badly.
That's pride fucking with you.
If people are complaining about the YouTube compression, eliminate it. Put the tracks out as high-quality audio files for download. Then they can hear the perfect sound recordings. Then they can move on to the next excuse.
And that, my friend, is why I don't put the audio files online. It's going to be for 6 or 7 people who are going to download it. They're going to check it out, and you're absolutely right. Then they're going to find something else to complain about. So it's really not worth the effort. The juice is definitely not worth the squeeze. Not when you got to crank videos out constantly anyway. Here's what I will promise you guys, though. You get me to 1 million subscribers, I will put the audio files online. But I need your help to do it. Did you know over 600,000 people watched the show last month and didn't actually hit the subscribe button? It's not like it costs you any money. If you haven't subscribed yet,
it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
I need you to help make this a better show. All you gotta do is hit the button. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I've been an amp tech for 25 years. I've told every player looking for a mod to change the speaker first. Most high-gain amps are either a Marshall Soldano clone to a small varying degree. Sure, you can get fancy channel options and switching, but the gain structure is the same.
Well, thank you, Corey Brown, for actually being honest with your customers. And it's the same thing. I tell everybody, if you're looking for a big improvement in your tone, just change the speaker out. It's not rocket science, people. It's actually really fucking affordable to do. Okay, maybe not on a 4x12, but still, on a 2x12 or something like that, it's probably gonna be about the same price as a new set of tubes. Guitar players, you know, they love spending money on really shiny things, but they hate spending money on things that actually make the difference, like tubes or reamp boxes. I get it. You know, this thing's not very shiny, so it doesn't really have a big appeal. It's not like, you know, some gleaming chrome pedal or something like that. This thing's pretty plain. But believe me, guys, this will really open your eyes as to what's going on. Let's put it this way. It's going to do a lot more good for you and your guitar sound than a set of pickups ever will. Oh yeah, just a heads up, guys. Once again, this show is brought to you by my company, Spectre Digital. We make awesome audio plugins to help you make better recordings. We've got the amazing Element Bass Amp Sim, and it'll get you a sound like this. Remember, guys, a great bass tone is elemental to a great mix. You want a heavy tone? You need a great bass tone. You need Element Bass. Grab a copy today. Links in the description below. All the money I make from that just goes right back into the show and helps me make better content to keep you entertained.
The GAL, Guild of American Luthiers, has decided to sue this Moog for making such an inflammatory statement, just as soon as they can scrap together the money from their guitars' sales. Yeah, guitar manufacturing in the USA is pretty close to dead. And it's all your fault!
Yeah, it certainly has nothing to do with their stunning quality, does it?
What amazes me is why guitarists don't try new things in the studio, the one place where you can really experiment. If you read up on legendary guitarist recordings, the one common theme is that the top guys try lots of different ideas, gear, and techniques. Open your minds and watch your tone explode.
Just remember this, guys. It's hard to add to a glass that's already full.
Okay, but what's sillier? Believing your Koa solid body electric guitar will sound much different from your mahogany solid body electric, or believing your bolt-on neck sounds brighter and snappier than your neck through neck?
Sounds like religion. It's all just plain fucking stupid.
Just recently discovered your channel. I'm a session and touring bassist of 45 years. My latest touring gig was occupying James Jamerson's seat with the Motown group, The Miracles. I've played on hundreds of TV shows, movies, and recordings. I've worked with some of the best engineers in the world. Our sound guy with The Miracles toured with Michael Jackson. Now, I'm not in the metal, but I can't tell you how many times I've been called upon to fix their tracks. Listen, guys, what this guy is telling you is truth. Too many musicians out there simply do not possess the necessary skills to be called professional musicians. He's telling you like it is, and most of you already need to up your game, especially in the studio.
Well, thank you very much for the words of affirmation. I really do very much appreciate that. You know, I live in Windsor. We're like right across from Detroit. I've still never visited Hitsville, USA. But a lot of cool shit went down in there. A lot of great records were made there. Had a dirt floor. It was basically a garage. Kind of like what this place is. Hey, kind of cool, actually. I really should go over there and visit, but dude, thanks again for writing, and please feel free to drop by anytime. You know what? Reach out to me. I'd love to have you on the show at some time. I'm sure you've got some pretty amazing stories for all of us. But keep in mind what the dude's saying, because I'll tell you one thing I have never said in my entire history here in the recording studio. Guys, you practiced way too much.
Are there any metal albums you find exceptional with modern harsh screaming vocals? Just curious what albums inspired you on the more extreme side of metal, or if you avoid them completely. Love you, Glenn, F you.
Yes, Fear Factory's Demanufacture. That came out in what, 96, 97, something like that. And there's been zero progress in that genre since.
Glenn, while watching this, I remembered you saying something about choice paralysis when using a DAW and an analog desk. As it relates to guitars, can there be choice paralysis from pickups, i.e. fluence, lay centers? Have you noticed that in the studio?
No, thankfully, mostly because guitar pickups are usually difficult to replace. I did a review on a Cream Tea guitar there a couple years back. Beautiful fucking instrument. And, you know, it had hot swappable pickups, and, you know, we started changing them out. I'm like, really? You guys went to all that effort to swap out pickups, and this is what we're getting? Oh, fuck me. What a complete waste of time that was. Beautiful guitar. You totally didn't need the swappable pickups, that's for sure. There's two kinds of pickups, humbuckers and single coils. Make your fucking choice. What kind of tone do you need? Everybody can pick that out on a blind test. We did that a couple years ago. No problem there. But humbucker to humbucker, oh, please. Save your time, save your money. Don't be a sucker.
Glenn, you should check out the book of Manfred Zollner's about electric guitar. He's a German physicist who settled the whole Tonewood debate already years ago. He does really go into detail about every single aspect about electric guitar, an amp, a speaker, cables, etc. He also does videos on YouTube in German, but his book should be out there in English as well. I'd say that's definitely something you would be interested in.
Okay, thank you so much for naming the guy. I actually did a couple of videos about a couple of my things. He's like, stop doing this! And I'm like, with all due respect, sir, remember, I'm doing real world in the studio test. I am not doing a PhD level dissertation. I am not that versed in science. I mean, like, I'm just doing very basic 7th grade, you know, scientific method stuff. Have a hypothesis, devise a test the hypothesis, take results, that kind of stuff. You know, just very basic stuff there. Yeah, he gets really into it, but yeah, if somebody's selling you toned wood on a solid body electric. Yeah, read Manfred's book. It's gonna put all that shit to waste. It's probably a way better investment than buying a new guitar thinking you're gonna get some kind of tonal advantage, that's for sure. I'm not sure if Manfred actually speaks English or not, but if he does and anybody knows him, hey, I'd love to have you on the show at some time. I'd love to discuss with you your thoughts on the whole thing and how we could wade through the immense marketing bullshit out there and hopefully make better informed choices as consumers. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please consider doing. There's absolutely no cost to you, and it would be a tremendous help to me. And I'd love to have you along for this crazy journey that we're on. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. And until then, have a wonderful and safe weekend. Practice as hard as you can before you hit that red record button. You're going to like the results. You get a whole lot more than what you've been getting before.